There's a saying that all press is good press, and usually that is pretty normal across all of industry. But I have to say that for Highguard, it feels like it was a mistake to do a lot of the things they did to advertise this game. I mean, we have the game just drop, and a lot of people are playing it, but man, is the reception so mixed and so out of whack, and the media is everywhere. I feel like the amount of attention this game is getting, it should have over 1 million people playing it. But instead, I feel like more people are talking about it on social media and across the games industry for what not to do. Media experts talking about it, who knows what's going on? And not to mention, Jeff Keighley still saying that people should play this game and that we all owe him an apology when the game drops because we're going to be so blown away with it. Not to mention, we have the developer and the CEO talking about some of the mistakes they made along the way and how they pivoted from what they've been doing since the beginning. So let's get into Highguard because I feel like this is a reality check for the entire industry. So let's do it. All right, so if you want to be informed on all gaming news and everything like that, the industry, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm here making content all the time, and plus it helps out the channel. So now let's just jump into Highguard because, man, I gotta say, I jumped into the game. It's free to play. I've enjoyed some of the time I had with it, but I feel like it's a game that a lot of people put too much hype around and it got too much media attention for the type of game it is. What do I mean by that? Well, not every game needs to have this big grandiose reveal or this huge marketing push to be successful. It needs good gameplay, a solid core group of gamers that are going to enjoy it, and maybe a little bit of positivity and good word of mouth over time that those gamers give it. But instead, Highguard went full rip roar towards the front of the line. They went at the end of the Game Awards, and man, is the game getting a lot of hype. A lot of streamers are playing it, and it's all over social media. Not to mention now, the CEO and all the developers are coming out talking about their game a little bit more and going into deep dives that kind of confuse people even more of what the game really is. So I want to jump into this because right now we have Jeff Keighley on Twitter, you can see on here, talking about how we're all going to owe him an apology for how great the game is. And this was a day before the game dropped. Whoa. Okay, I guess we're going to owe you an apology when the game drops. We'll see once we get our hands on it because us gamers, we like to play our games before we throw judgment out there. Usually, I guess. So I want to jump into this article talking about the developer and what they said. The plan had always been to shadow drop Highguard, a multiplayer hero shooter developed by Wildlight Entertainment, a studio made up of ex-Respawn Entertainment heavyweights. It's a strategy that benefited Apex Legends, a Fortnite rival that came out of nowhere and quickly muscled its way into the competitive live service gaming landscape. So why did Wildlight Entertainment decide to drop a trailer revealing the game for the first time at the Game Awards, knowing the team would go radio silent again immediately afterwards? Here's what the co-founder of the company had to say. Look, we always plan for a surprise release, said studio co-founder Chad Grenier, told Kotaku at a preview event earlier this month. Jeff came in and wanted to do something special and put us in the Game Awards. We were gonna do a shadow drop, since day one. Almost since forming this company, we did it with Apex and it worked well. Instead, Wildlight decided to close gaming's biggest event of the year with a trailer that left some intrigued but others unimpressed. It was a gamble that ricocheted across social media in unpredictable ways, with many drama cycles sprouting up around the lack of any new information surrounding the game ahead of its January 26 launch. Some even theorized it might secretly get delayed after the poor reaction to the first trailer. Okay. This is where you need a little bit of a reality check when it comes to the Highguard developers. I think that the reason why Apex Legends was so successful was because everybody was already introduced to battle royales. There was Fortnite out there. Some people played H1Z. There was PUBG. There were some games out there that people felt familiarized with that type of game and how it's going to be. So when Apex Legends dropped, it was the same type of game, but just with little hero shooter mechanics thrown in there. So everybody felt comfortable jumping into it. Highguard, on the other side, does not have that. It does not have that nuance of people understanding what it was. You said this is a new form of shooter. This is a new breed of shooter. Okay, what does that mean? How are you going to drop a 2-minute and 30-second or 3-minute trailer and then completely disappear, not telling gamers what to expect from the game? what type of game is it? What are we looking at? Because we know it's not a BR, we know it's not these other things that we're familiar with, so you're dropping a game that kind of hurts. That's a reality check. You assumed that the gamer was going to stay intrigued for something new that they have no idea for, when the gaming market is very saturated with games as a service. So you had to stand out in a different way, and not that way. That's where this all press is good press comes into play. Sometimes when you drop a game that's new, you don't want it at the forefront to be this big hyped up thing with someone like Jeff Keighley, who does a really good job at the Game Awards, but he has a massive following. He's going to get eyes on this product that you just built. That is something that I think is a little bad. I think that really didn't help you, because it's a really big rude awakening to understand how many more people are going to be looking at your game and judging it. And you weren't ready for that marketing backlash or that social media backlash. And we all saw that because you disappeared. So not only were people making videos about what your game is and what we just saw and hating on it, but they also started assuming that it's going to get delayed because you didn't say anything after. So what are we doing here? That's a massive wake-up call to anybody working at that studio to be like, this wasn't a good idea. The other thing was you pivoted. You pivoted to something that you weren't ready for, and I kind of want to go back into the article to get little tidbits of what that means. This is what the developer said. We've known Jeff for a long time and said, let me do something that's maybe a little risky in hindsight, but different, to take a free-to-play PvP raid shooter and do something with it, Grainer said. So we rushed a trailer together. I wish the reception had been better, but in hindsight, we made a trailer to entertain really quickly and didn't show the gameplay loop and what's different and unique. So you knew what you did wrong. And after you saw the reception, I know that the glitz and the glamour of the Game Awards got in your eyes, and you're like, we're going to get a lot of people to see our game, and we're going to get them to play it, and it's going to get attention, and it's going to be pushed. Jeff really likes it, so the gamers probably will too. That's where you went wrong. You deviated from the way you were making your game. You guys were in closed doors, making it for the last 3 to 4 years, having a good time, not really getting any reception, and you were ready to bring this out and shadow drop it. And that's been kind of one of your core parts of your product, was that you're going to just bring this out and get feedback very quickly, like a big water hose coming out of feedback to you. It's going to be pretty cool, I thought. That's what Apex Legends did, but Apex Legends had a blueprint of how BRs are successful beforehand. Your game does not have that. So you needed a little bit more blueprint or some foundation of what the game could be from gamers, and you didn't have that. So now all you're getting is feedback about what this game is. I think part of the hate is the confusion. A little bit of like, what's going on here? Once you confuse the gamer or your consumer, that's not a good thing, right? There's this thing called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it very simple. You should have shadow dropped it the way you wanted to, because you built the game around doing that. You had trailers ready to go for that, instead of just scrambling around and making a 2 to 3 minute trailer for Jeff to throw up there where people can get your first impression on the game. So first impressions last. That's the whole point of this. That's where the mistakes happen. And I think they understand that. I think they kind of put that and internalized it and were quiet for a month and a half, because they're like, you know what? I don't think we could do anything to mitigate this. Let's just launch the game, bring out a deep dive, and talk about the game. And when it's out there, people will be able to play it. Well, when you look at the Steam reviews right now, it's at overwhelming negative or mostly negative. So a lot of people are just ripping this game apart. I mean, we have streamers like Tim the Tapman and Ninja talking about it, and their rando in the game is just like, I'm leaving this game because I'm bored out of my mind. I've been playing it for an hour and I'm out. And he left. Some rando playing with these big streamers just bounced. He just left the game. And you had, I think it was, let's look at the Steam numbers, because I think they had about 100,000 or close to 100,000 people on there. And then it dropped dramatically to half of those users. And I get it. It's Monday. People are going to work. Everything's going down. I get that. But at the end of the day, you had a lot of noise surrounding this game, but not a lot of good noise. You wanted gamers to get a better grasp of what this game is first if you were going to show up at the Game Awards. And honestly, I feel bad for your marketing team. I feel bad for everybody advertising this game, the people within the studio that put hard work towards this, because this is a reality check that you shouldn't deviate or go differently to what you are as a developer. If you had a plan since the beginning to shadow drop this because that's what you saw being successful from Apex Legends, you should have just stuck to your guns. I think you should have pushed back on Jeff a little bit, be like, hey, don't worry about it. Thank you for the offer. It's very tempting, but we're going to stick to what we were doing because we think it'll be better for our game. Do I think you'd have 100,000 or however many people are playing it now on Steam and across all platforms? Probably not, but I think you would have had a better foundation of gamers to give you genuine feedback about what the game is. Because let's be real, most of these people that are online putting stuff on Steam reviews and all that, played the game for like an hour or not even played it, had like 10 minutes in it, and we're putting negative reviews on it. So I don't really judge it by that. I'm going to judge the game by the end of the month or by a month's time. How the game performs in a month. Are you losing players constantly? Does it have a steady incline of people on the weekend? Or is it just free falling across the board? The one good thing is, it's not Concord, man. Whew, it's not Concord. Concord had like 7 people max or some crap like that people jumped on that game. That game got absolutely annihilated. It was rough. So at least you're not there. And honestly, I kind of want to go into a little bit more of what the article is saying, because there's some good tidbits about what they saw coming and what happened to the developer after the reveal. So let's get into it. Despite the online noise, the team stayed quiet. The next time players saw Highguard, it would be live and be able to speak for it itself. It's a tough call. With multiplayer releases, a game lives or dies based on whether it can find a big enough audience. While Highguard's is free to play, meaning that there's very little barrier to entry, the odds are still stacked against it. At the preview event where I spoke to members of the team, it was impossible to miss the mix of pride and trepidation about the game's first proper appearance to the press and influencers. So here we are. We're launching the game now, and the team is resilient and enthusiastic, he said. They've made a ton of games in their careers. We've seen the highs and the lows. I think ultimately, we believe wholeheartedly in what we've created. Kotaku was one of the number of media outlets and content creators invited to a launch event for the Highguard in Los Angeles, California on January 21st. It's part hero shooter, part MOBA, part MMORPG raid. Players descend upon the map, race around and collect gear and resources, and ultimately battle over a specific artifact that must be deployed inside the enemy team's base in order to win. It can be a lot to wrap your head around. So I'm going to kind of give my impressions because I've actually played quite a few matches now. I'm a massive, big shooter fan. I love playing online multiplayer games. It's my favorite type of thing to do. I play Counter-Strike, Apex, you name it, I play it. Warzone, I play everything. I love shooters. Valorant, doesn't matter. So I will say that the uniqueness of this game is that it takes multiple forms of shooters and puts it into one. What do I mean by that? So when you start the game, you run out, you collect loot. It's kind of like a BR. You go out, you collect loot, get better gear, get better guns, blah, blah, blah. You're going through these chests, you're riding around for a little bit, and that's, about 2 to 3 minutes of the game. And then it turns into what I think looks like a capture the flag mode, where there's the sword, the Riftbreaker comes in, you have to take it, and then go take it to the enemy's base, and then take them on and fight. All great. I think that's actually a pretty fun environment. And then it turns into a search and destroy once you have the raid. You either are defending or you're attacking and you're planting bombs to take them out. And then you go back and forth. You can defend the bomb and then you start all over again. You get better gear. It gets better and better as you go. And the gear gets a lot more insane and rare. So I've really enjoyed that mix of play. It's something very different. I've enjoyed that. But I didn't know what it was when you advertised it a month and a half ago. I've talked about this game multiple times in videos. I've actually talked to friends about it that want to play it. And when I jumped into it, I did not know what I was doing. Like, nobody knew what it was. It took a long time, but it felt like I've been talking about this game for 2 months. And that's because we have almost been talking about it for 2 months and we didn't know anything about it. So that deep dive they put up felt good. It felt like they were explaining it decently, but I also feel like they missed the mark in just letting gamers jump into it. I think a shadow drop, I don't know how good it would have been if you just shadow dropped it. I know that was part of your core strategy, but I feel like when you drop something this new into gamers' hands, you need to give them a little bit of time to adjust to what you're trying to do here. What are you trying to get across? Because to me, it's like 3 different games, right? It's like a BR where you're going around looting, and then it turns into like a capture the flag moment, and then it turns into a search and destroy all wrapped around a shooter on a map. And you can ride around on horses, and there's shields, and there's abilities, throw in the heroes, all of that. It's a lot to ask for to digest. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it because it took me a game or two to digest that, to understand what I'm doing. I got into some intense moments. I had a good time with it. But man, obviously gamers didn't receive that as well. They didn't get to that point where it clicked for them because all the hype surrounding it was very negative. I think kind of going silent, good on you, I know the team is resilient, may have hurt you because the way the game is being judged at right now, if you look on the Steam reviews, is very harshly because people didn't know what it was. And then when they played it, it wasn't what they expected because they built this game up in their head. I thought there was PvE in this game. I thought it was a PvP, PvE. I didn't know what it was. So I was wrong on that. There is no PvE. You're just fighting people. It's a 3v3, which is another critique I have of the game. I think you needed to test this a little bit more because I think this game would have been wildly better if you just added 1 to 2 more people on each side. So a 4v4 or a 5v5. I think if you did that, this game would have been insanely fun because the maps are a little bit bigger. If you had more people on the map to fight, it would have been chaotic and a lot of fun and intense. The 3v3 is cool. I enjoy it. You kind of went the Apex Legends route with that. But if you mixed around with that where you had 4 or 5 people on the map, it would have been insane. I think this game would have had a lot more hype surrounding it. A lot more people would have enjoyed it a little bit. Not to mention, I feel like a lot of games don't have that 5-player Counter-Strike type of game or Valorant type of game. So if you had that, I think it would have been a lot better. I think it would have fit the system a little bit better. And hey, maybe that'll come later. And so will ranked and all those other things that you have in there. But so far, after playing it and seeing everything about it, it just seems like another shooter that I have to worry about a battle pass for, skins for, and that's just something that's become so tiring, and I feel like gamers are fatigued from all those things. All the battle passes that have come out, even single-player games have battle passes at this point. Reality check industry, gaming industry, not all gamers want that anymore. You need to find something else. I get that maybe there's some people that spend money on it and you make a lot of money from it, but man, that needs to change because I feel like I'm getting tired of it. I'm not going to buy any more battle passes. I don't care anymore. There's so many skins. There's so many things around it that you just get kind of bored. You get kind of like it's useless at this point. You're just gathering all these material things to play a game when all I care about is the shooting, the mechanics, and the gameplay. Look at Arc Raiders, things like that. People just enjoyed the gameplay loop of that. People enjoyed Battlefield 6, the gameplay loop around that. And so I think that you have something here that could be unique. Maybe you can pivot a little bit. I mean, you pivoted on your reveal, so might as well pivot somewhere else, right? I think you could pivot a little bit to making it a 4-player, 4v4. Try that. See if that helps. But also, man, that marketing blunder kind of hurt you. So I hope you guys recover. I hope the game does decently well because I don't want any game to fail. But from what I'm looking at it, a lot of the press isn't liking it. A lot of the people that I see playing it have mixed reviews. Like, yeah, it's cool, but what am I doing? Or I'm a little confused on what's going on. How does my shields work? It's too confusing. I think you need to clean that up a little bit. And that deep dive might have helped, but I don't think people are going to sit there and watch a 25, 30-minute video to understand how to play a game. That's just not happening. People are going to jump in, play it, and if they get confused, they get confused. I think you should have built a little bit more hype around it after the announcement. But we'll see. Streamers are probably playing it for the rest of the day and the rest of the week, honestly, going into the weekend. So let's see what happens. Hopefully the game has some legs. Hopefully the game can kind of rebound from what's happening. But we'll find out. Let me know what you think, though, down below. I actually want to know what gamers think. I want to know if you downloaded it. It's free to play. I know a lot of people on Xbox have been playing it. On PlayStation, not so sure. But I know people on Steam have been playing it. I see some of my friends jumping in it. So I want to know what you think of it. Did you just jump in because it's free to play and you can check it out on your own and not worry about what other people say? Or is it something that doesn't even interest you because you don't really play those types of games? Or are you having a little bit of fatigue or tiring out from all these free-to-play games that are coming out that everybody seems to have to play and do battle passes and get skins? Let me know down below because I actually want to know what people think about this game because I find it fascinating. And also, if you want to stay up to date on gaming news and the industry and all that, hit that subscribe button. Helps out the channel more than you know. You can also follow me on Twitter @Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games, trying to post as much stuff as I can. Yeah, I'm not the best social media guy, but what are you going to do? And of course, let me know what you're playing down below. I always like knowing what people are playing, so it gives me an idea of what I'm playing next. Right now, I'm playing Highguard. You can see it behind me. That's the developer deep dive. I'm playing that right now. I'm jumping into it, enjoying it enough. I have a couple footages that I'm going to put up. I really enjoyed it here and there. I think it has great moments. I've had some intense moments that I've enjoyed, but I think for the next week or so, I'm going to be playing a lot of that game so I can get a really good understanding of it. And I did put some time into it already, and I think I'm going to do that for the rest of the week and going into the weekend. Just play it a little bit more, try to understand it better, and see where the game is going because I always give shooters and PvP shooters, I always give them the benefit of the doubt. That's just how I roll. I really enjoy them and I love them and I love playing with my friends. So let me know what you're playing. Are you playing Highguard or are you playing something else? And like always, that's all for now. And until next time, enjoy your gaming. Later.